9. Taking responsibility. Our first step in undoing the effects of a lifetime of marketing is to face the fact that it has happened to us and decide in our minds to take responsibility for what we eat. The brain does the bidding of the mind. Where the mind goes, the brain follows. What you think affects what you eat, and what you eat affects what you think. There are countless research studies in journals, online, in the media, and in the bookstores highlighting the impact of both thinking and diet on the brain and body. We can now say with certainty that consuming highly processed, sugar, salt, and fat-laden mad foods contributes to increased levels of obesity, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, stroke, allergies, autism, learning disabilities, and autoimmune disorders. The list can go on and on. Although we are seeing an ever-increasing public awareness of the effects of lifestyle choices on our health, fast food establishments and supermarkets are continually being built across the globe. Within my own neighborhood, 4 new chain grocery stores have opened in the last several months. A mental blank wall. Many individuals do not know, or do not want to acknowledge, how dysfunctional our food system actually is. While writing this book, I often had discussions on food and healthy eating with the pastors, leaders, drivers, and other incredible people I have had the opportunity to meet during my travels. These people are compassionate and loving, yet most of them had no clue that our food system was so far removed from their own belief systems and values. Even when I speak of these issues from the podium, I often come face to face with a mental blank wall. It never ceases to amaze me, for instance, that when I speak on the dangers of soda, which creates structural damage in the brain, several people in the audience always visit the vending machine and buy cans of soda during the lunch break. Indeed, the green room is usually filled with such drinks. Many of the visitors grab one and joke, "Don't let Caroline see you with that." After drinking soda, not only will you have a distended colon and an insulin rush, but you will also reduce your IQ level, invite brain fog, throw your body into toxic stress, and contribute to the destruction of the Earth's natural resources. How is this respecting our bodies as God's living temples? Are we being good biblical stewards? Ultimately, the mad industrial food system dominates our world. Parents take their children to fast food restaurants between school and their next sporting activity. People fill up their grocery carts with foods containing strange ingredients no one can pronounce, or no ordinary kitchen has ever heard of. Many restaurants do not even know how their chickens were raised or how their vegetables were grown. Church functions are hotbeds of fast, convenient, and highly processed foods. Charities and food aid still cripple local healthy food production in developing nations with imported processed foods, good intentions notwithstanding. The only balanced meal. We need to take personal responsibility for what we put on our plates. If we eat the mad diet on the very, very odd occasion, we can rest assured knowing that God, in His gracious and loving way, has built backup systems into our brain and body that will pull us out of potential danger. After all, stressing about our food is as bad for our health as eating unwholesome foods. But if we knowingly continue down a path of eating food-like products instead of real food, merely because we would rather use our money to buy that new iPhone, we should not be surprised when the consequences are far from what we desire. It is foolhardy to believe that we can live our lives however we choose, and when medical problems arise, run to our doctors and dietitians for a quick fix. Ask God, why is this happening to us? And tell everyone we are under spiritual attack. We are always under spiritual attack on every front. Paul says we are in a war, not going to war. Romans chapter 7, verse 23, Ephesians chapter 6, verses 11 to 13, 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 4. We are part of this battle of restoration. We are called to be God's heirs, soldiers, and high priests, extending His love and forgiveness in the world. This is what it means to be true followers of Christ, who extend God's love and mercy into the world by conquering sin and death. John chapter 14, verses 12 to 14. Hebrews chapter 4, verse 14. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9. We are called to bring heaven to earth, and this does not happen without a fight. Matthew chapter 6, verses 9 to 13. In fact, I think a frightening mentality among many Christians today is a pervasive view of the world as fallen and hopeless, despite the fact that Christ has already made all things new. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 17. Revelation chapter 21, verse 5. We have the God-given responsibility to care for the earth. The whole world is waiting for Christians to fully appropriate their identity as God's heirs and take responsibility for creation. Romans chapter 8, verses 19 to 22. The world is being restored, a restoration that began with Christ and will be completed with Christ, and through us as his heirs. We were not created to stand by, complaining about the evil things we witness or hear about, and exclaiming that we cannot wait to go to heaven and leave this wretched earth behind. We are supposed to bring heaven to earth, to apply God's love to the terrible things that make us want to duck our head in the ground like spiritual ostriches. Terrible things like our corrupt food system. Once we know, we have a responsibility to act. James chapter 4, verse 17. As Christians, we cannot say that it is impossible to escape or change the mad diet, while hoping that saying grace over our food will make it healthy. Real grace is not just said before a meal. Real grace is the meal. I am not trying to make you feel guilty. Negative emotions will just make things worse and give you terrible indigestion to boot. I write these words with a spirit of conviction, not condemnation, for we are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. Destruction is a final, horrific thing. I am trying to increase your awareness by warning you of the dangers of putting trash in your mind or in your body. I know life is challenging, yet I also know God is greater than our struggles. Nothing is impossible for him. Matthew chapter 19, verse 26. And Jesus himself said that God cares about what you eat, just as he cares for the nourishment of the birds and all living creatures. Matthew chapter 6, verse 26. Essentially, thinking about the impact of your lifestyle choices will have a profound influence on the health of your spirit, soul, and body. I know I am belaboring this point, yet it truly cannot be said enough. The only balanced meal is one that includes your thoughts. Lose the mindset, lose the weight. As we take responsibility for the condition of our bodies, the question arises, what is a healthy weight for us? Scientists think about this in terms of body mass index, BMI, a ratio of weight to height. Unfortunately, what exactly is a healthy BMI is still being debated. According to a growing body of research, a healthy BMI can be as high as 35, contrary to the long-held scientific dogmas that have defined what is considered overweight and obese. These findings are perhaps unsurprising in light of artwork from the Renaissance and Baroque periods, for example, where women are frequently portrayed according to standards many of us would consider overweight or obese. The BMI is an imperfect scale, since it does not take into account many factors associated with our weight, such as body fat percentage. Wearing a size 0 does not necessarily mean you are healthy, just as an organic label does not necessarily mean the food is healthy. We are all different, uniquely created in the image of God. Yet this shift away from popularly held conceptions about BMI is not an excuse to lie on your couch and binge on food-like products such as soda and fast food. There certainly is a point where being obese or overweight is damaging to your health, and a lack of exercise negatively affects both your physical and mental well-being. Mad processed foods have many negative health effects. Our ultimate goal should therefore be a healthy diet and a lifestyle that nourishes and sustains us, not a supermodel body that is defined by superficial cultural standards. Indeed, you may lose weight on a diet or by taking a pill, yet such weight loss shocks your body while your mind is still entrenched in old patterns of eating. The effect is short-term at best. However, when we understand and remove the habits, mindsets, and cues that result in incorrect eating and overeating, we can make truly sustainable lifestyle changes based on a balanced, thought-based way of eating. How then do we reshape our mindsets and habits? That's what we need to consider next.